going, everybody? Welcome to a live edition of the Ad Podcast. We are here at Phocuswright in San Diego, and we have Lindene Cleary, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of Tourism Tasmania. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about Tasmania.
Wow, so I'm born and raised proud Tasmanian.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, grew up in the northeast in a beautiful city called Launceston. And I, like a lot of young Tasmanians did back then, way back then, I left when I was about 20 in search of adventure and a career and travel and all the things, and then I came back, or went back a few years ago to work for Tourism Tasmania.
Oh, that's amazing.
Absolutely my dream job as a career marketer, who then came into tourism about almost 8 years ago.
I love it. So you were in tourism prior to coming into this role?
No.
Interesting. So you were more in other categories?
FMCG, marketing, and agencies and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, it was just an amazing way to use the experience I'd built over the years to come back and, promote my home.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Very special, and also a lot of responsibility comes
Totally.
with it.
Did you have relationships with the tourism authority, like through family or people you grew up with, or was it just a job that popped up and you're like, oh, this is a great way for me to go? Like, how did that facilitate?
Yeah, I was living in Singapore at the time,
actually,
and my husband and I, and he's from Sydney, we're not Tasmanian, but we'd started sort of daydreaming about moving back to Tasmania, and we'd had 2 kids and just, wanted a lifestyle that was a little, slower and closer to nature and just all of the good things in life. And I actually honestly just started searching for roles at Tourism Tasmania and nowhere else. And eventually my persistence paid off. Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. Well, I imagine there's not endless opportunities for a career marketer to go back to Tasmania. That's probably one of the few, right?
There's a handful, but yeah, I feel very lucky and very proud that I get to do what I do.
I love it. So I think we talked a little bit off camera. First Phocuswright?
It is first Phocuswright, yeah.
What do you think so far?
Oh, it's amazing, to be in a room with, literally people from all over the world and travelled, and to learn, things that, Tasmania is an island, off an island at the edge of the world. It's a long way away, but there's something so special about it. But to learn what the challenges are of so many other destinations around the world and the organisations that are helping facilitate the travel here, it's a rare opportunity. Not that we don't have conferences in Australia and Tasmania, of course, but this is just a much bigger, more global scale, so it's fascinating.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about marketing Tasmania. As an American, the stereotypical understanding of Tasmania, like the only thing that comes to mind for me is a Tasmanian devil, and I'm sure this is not new. So tell us uneducated American travelers that maybe haven't spent a lot of time in Oz, and especially not a lot of time in Tasmania, what are some of the features and the things that you guys lean into to market the territory?
Yeah, so the Tasmanian devil is a real thing. It's not just a Warner Brothers
We have
character.
them at the zoo here, the San Diego Zoo. It's San Diego Zoo is the biggest zoo in the world, and we have Tasmanian devils.
Yes, you do. So good to have a little slice of Tassie here. So we are first and foremost a nature and wilderness destination. That is absolutely why a lot of people travel to Tasmania.
Almost like the safari crowd.
I guess
or
so,
outdoor
but
adventure.
More outdoor adventure, but also it's not all just hardcore adventure. It can be. The amazing thing about Tasmania is the proximity. So we could be in Hobart, the capital city, enjoying an amazing brunch, for example, beautiful produce that's been grown nearby, and meet the maker of the produce and so on. But then within 20 minutes, you could be hiking up a mountain.
Wow.
You can be at a beach with no one else on it, with beautiful white sand.
Is there surf?
Water. Yep, there's surf.
Oh, let's
definitely.
go.
Particularly on the west coast, it's quite famous.
Nice.
And so you can come as a serious hiker and walker and do multi-day overnight trips, or you can come and just enjoy the food, the produce, the arts and culture scene, which is phenomenal and quite quirky. But then nature is the backdrop to all of that. And you can sort of tap in and out, and short walks that are anywhere from an hour to a day. or as I said, go the more adventurous route if that's what you're into. But whatever you do in Tasmania, you've always got, if you go out into nature and out into the elements, if it is, you know, a little bit colder or it's called breezier, say, you've got that beautiful payoff at the end of the day of cozying up inside. If it's winter time, then you've got this lovely log cabin coziness vibe going on with world-class whisk by the fire or Pinot Noir, sparkling wine and so on. So there's always just that beautiful combination of the whole experience, and it's all very easily accessible.
Sounds like you are, in the language that you're using, you're talking a lot about like local producers, local produce, kind of the farm-to-table experience that a lot of us have grown accustomed to, almost like elements of foraging or like kind of making its way into culinary, where it's like, you know, you don't just go and have a great dinner, but you like, you know, you go and find the truffle or the truffles up in the mountains with a producer, and, or like experience really that kind of that farm-to-table local producer, or kind of like getting to see where your food comes from and have that be part of the experience. Is that something that you guys lean into quite a bit?
Absolutely, and that's because Tasmania is a place where that is just part of life. You know, it's not something that's been manufactured as a visitor experience.
That's the real experience.
It is. We have a saying that the way people holiday is the way we live, and it's just because nature is so important to our way of life there, but of course it's part of, you know, the way we eat, the way we cook and so on. So that just naturally comes through at Netiero through visitor, which is really lovely. And you do genuinely go, whether it's to a distillery or a cheese producer or any kind of, you know, food and beverage producer, you will meet the person who's started the business or who's caught forage for the food that morning. Or caught, if it's a seafood business, we've got some amazing boat tours that you can actually, the captain of the boat will dive down, catch fresh seafood, and then it will be cooked up on the road for you on the day. So couldn't be fresher.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, you know, I talked a little bit about this in the panel that we were sitting in on yesterday for destination marketers, but I recently went to Tulum, and one of the experiences that I got to do is I made salsa, mojitos, and tortillas with the head chef of the restaurant.
That sounds fun.
So I felt very privileged to like get this, you know, one-on-one time with the head chef, but also to learn about the ingredients, where they come from, the culture, the history of you know, his people and the culinary style in which we're going to be participating. And we made salsa, and then like all the salsa then went to our table, and then they brought out the rest of the food. And it's like, you know, I feel like they're getting a lot of value because I've told this story on the podcast lots of times, but just because I think it's a great example of like, it is the word of mouth that I think destinations should be striving for, is like creating that experience that someone's going to tell over and over and over and over again until they have a new experience to replace that one with. But it's also the social media moment of the trip. It's like my kids were all taking pictures, and it was like the social media moment. I feel like that's marketing that you really can't buy, the word of mouth part of it and the organic social. As a destination marketer that has these, you know, very experiential assets, how do you incentivize your partners in the region to build those experiences for guests, but also like operationalize it to where it, you know, gets out into the world?
Well, I think again that just sort of comes naturally to Tasmanian tourism operators. They're not really interested in doing something that feels too manufactured or unnatural to their own, you know, themselves really. Like that Tasmania is a place it's somewhere you go to really slow down, just get headspace and get back to what it is to be human again, almost. And
digital
so
detox.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And it's not, you know, certainly we've been in on a little bit of content creators in our strategy and influencers and things like that, but we recognise word of mouth to a point is huge driver of awareness for our destination, particularly as a state of Australia. We're one of the smaller budgets compared to the rest of the country, and our biggest market is domestic Australia, and then followed by the US. So we have to do things that are ideally a little bit more clever, a little bit more interesting to cut through, because they'll never win on taking this
Sure.
pure budget. But from an operator perspective, they're doing these things because it's what they love. It's genuine passion. They're just sharing what they do with the world. That anyone who's keen to come in and experience that, they'll tailor the experience to them at the most part. So we don't have to work too hard to sort of motivate our operators to provide great experiential offerings.
It's already there.
It's already there. I would love it if there were more of them, and more of them all over the state, so that we can really focus on regional dispersal, getting people travelling across the whole state and year round. But that's a big part of our strategy too.
Sounds like that's the magic, the brass ring that everybody's grasping for, right? Is dispersal shoulder season.
Yeah.
How do you cut down on kind of the bus cycle journeys? Well, awesome. Well, I am fascinated, especially as a surfer. I'm always looking for new waves. So if myself or others want to learn more about Tasmania, where would you like to send the audience?
So you can go to our website, which is discovertasmania.com.au. Our social channels are Discover Tasmania or @Tasmania on Instagram. Plenty of beautiful content on there. And even have a look at our campaign work, which is a little bit deeper research. Our brand platform is called Come Down for Air.
Nice.
Which is a little play on a familiar phrase, but also talking to the literal fresh air of Tasmania. It is consistently recorded as the cleanest air in the world. West coast of Tasmania, which is a pretty good product to work with. But
you guys gotta can that up.
Yeah, exactly. We've thought about it.
You could stunt at least, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's also that metaphorical and that the headspace I talked about, that moment of just slowing down and remembering what's important in life. That's what you go to Tasmania for. And then we just happen to have all of these amazing experiences around that.
So fun. Well, thanks so much for coming on and telling our audience a little bit about Tasmania. Well, hopefully we'll get a feature at some point in person. So
Sounds good. Come on down.
all right, thanks everybody.